So they kept coming back and forth and back and forth, and I'm just laying in the bushes. So I called my wife, and I'm like, well, I'm running from the police, so if you can come get me. For the first 9 years of my existence in the United States, I lived in Orlando. And I'm, car and motorcycle enthusiast, and it's not the greatest place to drive cars. It's a straight line, and that's pretty much it. So what we used to do is, me and my buddies would come out to North Georgia and enjoy the North Georgia mountains. We would usually stay in either Helen or Dahlonega and spend a weekend, go through a set of tires, and go home. And it's always been trouble free, right? Never had a problem. I started dating my now wife, then girlfriend. We decided to do a big family trip with both mine and her family for her father's birthday up in these cabins by Blairsville that I loved visiting. So we rent a cabin, we get a big van that fits all of us, and I see that the van that I borrowed from a buddy of mine has a trailer hitch. I'm like, well, I guess I'm bringing my motorcycle with me. Just in the off time, I can have a few runs. So we come up to the mountains, we do all the touristy stuff. It's actually really enjoyed it because I never did it that way. I always just come and rip the roads and don't do anything else, right? They had some bicycle race, so the mountain was closed all day. We went back to the cabin around 5 and everybody was just kind of relaxing. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna do a quick run up Blood Mountain. So I put my leathers on and I had an R1 at the time. And I proceed to go up Blood Mountain at good pace. I'll put it that way. Well, I guess I didn't know at the top of the mountain, the local sheriff had somebody pulled over, another motorcycle guy. And I went by them at faster than I should be. He left the guy alone, jumped in his car, and proceeded to follow me. So I was cruising down, minding my business, and all of a sudden I hear a siren behind me. So I look back and I'm like, oh, that's not good. Crossed my mind for a second. Like, I don't think they're gonna put too much effort into chasing me. Let me just pull away from them. So I dropped 2 gears and got on the bike and took off. Surprisingly, they were on it. They wanted to get me. At this point, there was no going back, so I kept going. Pulled away from them. Took me maybe 10 corners to lose them. And I was going downhill, and I get to Turner's Corner, and I come upon a roadblock. 2 Chargers parked right in the middle of the road. So I stop and I put the bike in neutral, raise my arms, and I'm like, okay, well, that's the end of the road. I was expecting to get arrested at that point. I'm waiting on them to say, toss your keys, get on the ground, and we're going to jail. Instead, they open the doors, they get out of the cars, and they start coming to, I guess, get me. And I'm on a running R1. The bike's still running under me. So I'm like, well, let's give that a try. So I clicked first gear and I just went between them. They were waving their arms trying to grab me off the bike. I went between the 2 Chargers and I took off towards the Dahlonega. I'm going down the road. I know the road very well, so I could keep a pretty good pace. I'm thinking, well, I'm sure I'm gonna run into another roadblock at the Dahlonega, so let me take this dirt road. So I see this dirt road on the side and I barely managed to slow down enough to take it. And not even an eighth of a mile up, there was a chain at somebody's driveway, I guess, or property. So I was chained off. So I stopped there. I'm like, okay, well, I don't have time to turn around and get back on the road. They're coming. So I dumped the bike in the bushes, laid next to it, and just kind of sat there. So I tried to call my wife, I guess then girlfriend, and I have like 1 bar on my phone. So finally I managed to get service to call her. As I'm doing that, I can see the police cars going up and down the road. And I guess when they went by me, they didn't see me obviously, but they kept going. They got to the other car that was waiting for me at Dahlonega. They realized I never made it there. So they kept coming back and forth and back and forth, and I'm just laying in the bushes. So I called my wife, and I'm like, well, I'm running from the police, so if you can come get me, She comes with the van, barely found me. I'm like an hour away. In a van, it takes a while to get to me. Well, she got to me, we loaded the bike up and went home, went back to Florida like nothing happened. Well, fast forward 3 months later, I'm driving my friend's new M3 and I was going faster than I should. A police officer proceeded to pull me over for speeding. So I pulled over and he comes up to me and it was a pretty decent amount over the limit. So he informed me that I will not be spending the night at home. He handcuffed me. My buddy that was with me, that I was driving his car at the time, he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I'll just bail you out. I'll follow the police car. No worries. So you'll be out in a couple hours. So I get booked in. 1 hour goes by, then 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm like, oh, I know he paid my bail. Something is going on here. So I'm still in like the waiting area. I haven't even been booked. So I go to the police officer. I ask him, I'm like, hey, I know my bail is paid 100%. So what's going on? And he goes, oh, Georgia is looking for you, so you're not going anywhere. I'm like, what do you mean by looking for me? He goes, do you have a warrant for your arrest? So I'm like, well, I've never been pulled over in Georgia. He's like, well, that's why they're looking for you, because you never pulled over. I'm like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense, right? But he doesn't care. So anyways, I got booked. I was informed that they could hold me for up to a month. And if within that month I don't get picked up by U.S. Marshals and taken to Georgia, they would release me. Well, luckily, in 2 weeks they picked me up in a van. And they hauled me up to Blairsville, to the jail there. It took 48 hours. They had to make different stops at different jails, pick people up, drop people off, and I think they take alternative routes just in case somebody wants to pull some move, I guess, on the van. I don't know. I would have taken another 2 weeks in jail over that van trip. That was horrific. But anyways, I arrived in the jail in Blairsville, and all the officers, they were like, oh, we've seen your video. It's really cool. And I was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about, right? Well, I guess they have a video from the dash cam of the police car. The way my license plate was displayed on that bike was not really easily visible. I guess once I got away from them, they knew that there was a photographer on the mountain that took pictures of all the motorcycles. It was a popular motorcycle destination. So she took pictures of all the bikes, and you could go on her website and buy your high definition pictures. Obviously, every time I went in that corner, I knew where she was, so I had a Polaroid moment. So I'd scrape knees and do wheelies for her and stuff. And so she had a million pictures of me over the weekend. After I got away from them, they went on her website, and I guess her pictures are high definition enough to get the plate. They checked my bank records afterwards. They saw that I've gotten gas in the area at the same time. That was enough for them to issue a warrant for me. I just said that I swapped bikes with somebody and I don't know much about him. We just swapped bikes for a few hours. At the end of the day, I had full gear on, so it wasn't me on the bike. It was somebody else. And I only got penalized for illegal license plate display and illegal exhaust. But that was my last trip to Blood Mountain, so they don't have to worry about me ever again. Obviously, that was a long time ago, before kids and everything else, so I've definitely toned it down and I no longer enjoy anything like this. And I wouldn't advise anybody to do so, but it's interesting the things that we get away and survive through in our early 20s.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for yourself or the automotive enthusiast in your life this holiday season? Well, look no further than Celebrity Machines. They make metal stamped, screen accurate replicas of the license plates that you'll see on the cars in the movies and television shows that you love. They've got almost every one you could possibly imagine. And in fact, if you've gotten one of our Car Trek license plates or the Japanese license plate from my Lamborghini Diablo SV, those were also from Travis. So you may already have some Celebrity Machines license plates hanging up in your garage or in the background of your Zoom calls. But regardless, check them out now. If you go to the link in the description below or use the code VINwiki at checkout, they're going to give you 20% off of your order. So check them out now, get some great gifts, and thank them for their support of VINwiki.